Elon Musk is starting off this, big MAGA civil war about migrants and all that. And Vivek Ramaswamy, his co-Doge chair, whatever, decides to get involved as well. He's trying to help. He wants to focus the conversation around culture. And we'll get to his critique of American culture, which is, I guess, a little bit better described than Musk's is. But the issue is that he immediately runs up against another aspect of American culture, particularly Twitter culture, which is racism. Because you've got 1,000 comments responding to Elon Musk and to him that aren't just mad in general about migrants coming in. There's a lot of xenophobia and racism in that, but specifically Indian migrants coming in. And so just a sampling of some of the responses. We don't want or need to turn this country into India. So why not try to get people from Europe? Engineers here in Northern Europe earn half of what US engineers do, yet you keep importing Indians instead. Bear in mind, many of these, they're not making an actual cases to why it would be better to have a Norwegian than an Indian. For them, it goes without saying that you don't want more Indians in the country, I guess. One said, I used to have some faith in Elon, but at this point, I'm done. The mask is off. Elon supports erasing the cultural and ethnic identity of America to help grow his bank account. He's parasitic and destructive. And another person talking about one particular person brought on to do some advising for Twitter said, did any of y'all vote for this Indian to run America? It's not an elected position that they're talking about there. But again, there's just this anti-Indian race war brewing there. And so Vivek jumps into this. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, obviously, Indian descent, he's a guy that most on the right like, or at least up until today have liked. We'll see if that lasts. But he tries to explain that it's not that Americans are dumber, that they have an IQ deficit, as he puts it. He says that's a lazy and wrong explanation, which I agree. It's also kind of how Musk has been talking about it. He says it's a culture thing, and Cat Turd isn't happy, which that's the first sign you've got that Vivek Ramaswamy's got some problems here if Cat Turd's not on his side. But anyway, Brad, I'm gonna give you his argument. And I want your response. He says, the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of that IQ thing, as I said. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. And that's where all of his comparisons are gonna come from. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, I guess, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chillin'. He wrote it, chillin'. More extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. And so he's basically saying that we don't idolize intelligence or academia. And look, I could not agree with Vivek Ramaswamy more. And apparently he had a tough time in school. He was bullied and all that. So that's why a lot of these references seem very specific to his own life and his own time in school. But that's what the Republicans have done. They've been attacking expertise and curiosity and a desire to learn more, to expand the sphere of human knowledge for literally decades. They are as anti-intellectual as basically any political party has ever been in American history. And now he's coming in, again, in the same way that Musk is trying to fight back against some of the xenophobia that he's participated in. Vivek is trying to fight back against the anti-intellectualism, which Vivek's own massive intentional turn to conspiracism has contributed to, Brett. I just find these are very strange fights they're deciding to begin.
Because they have the power and they're admitting that they fooled you. That's what Vivek Ramaswamy is doing. He's removing the G from the end of the word chilling to try to urbanize it, which is still kind of like a safe space for these guys to when they're talking about who's dumb in America. But the fact is, this guy just declared a war against sucking on chili dogs outside the Tasty Freeze, driving 90 miles an hour to the city limit sign, put the pedal to the metal before you change your mind. Like small town Saturday night just got blown up by Vivek Ramaswamy, who just exposed himself, as did Elon Musk, as a labor market globalist, elitist prig. Period. Yeah. That's it. That is it. He thinks that Asian, and I don't believe any of this, but he believes that East Asian And South Asian cultures create harder working children than Americans. And the problem with America is the stuff we derive so much more soft power from than anything else, which is our culture. Our culture of chilling out at the mall and buying crap and having an American invention, which is adolescence. Adolescence doesn't exist anywhere else until we made it exist because we solved a lot of problems with like child labor. That's the thing, that the American invention of teenagerdom, Vivek Ramaswamy thinks is globally inferior at a massive scale to East Asian tiger parents. And your parents are stupid morons if you're a white person who voted for Republicans. If you're a Texan with a pickup truck and you like going and hanging out with a keg, your parents are worse than his parents. Period. Congratulations, MAGA. Good choice.
That's fascinating. I never really thought about the adolescence thing. It's beyond my knowledge. That's really interesting. I need to think about that more.
That's true.
And I feel sort of torn because like I had some of that, not like, parties or whatever, I guess, but I had some fun as a young man. And I want us to have that. I want some element of what he's saying of us, I would love for our culture to, deify academics and authors or whatever in the same way that we do like pop stars. Obviously, that's not the culture we have. But again, it's not like MAGA has been pushing for that. They love punching nerds in the like. Come on, like who are the people in media that they worship? It's people who are fighting back against that as much as possible. So I feel, I don't know, like I want us to have both, I guess, but I don't think like
we had
they
it.
may
Just
be
watch
allies
21
to
Jump
that,
Street.
Their movement isn't. What's that?
21 Jump Street is about how America created that pocket for a while. And between my generation and Dave Franco's generation, we created a pocket of people who had intellectual curiosity and didn't beat up the dorks. And those were the cool kids. That's why Channing Tatum has a problem with it. He's like, I'm not the cool jock anymore, because for 10 minutes until PragerU got 150 million more dollars, we kind of created that pocket.
Yeah. Anyway, I just there's a civil war. So generally you think like, well, I must have one side I agree with, but like they're both bad, man. They both could do better, I guess. But anyway, it continues. I'm hoping that this blows apart the whole Doge thing because it's going to be a gigantic waste of time and government energy. We'll see if that works. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?